Wakey wakey and welcome back, cosmonauts. Today we're going to be looking into what's been going on this week, what's been cooking, especially in the Cosmos ecosystem. And also we're going to be looking into some of the performers this week, because there are some coins that just don't care about this current market sentiment. First things first, let's go on CoinGecko, look at some of the prices. If we look at Bitcoin, we can see in the past week, there's not really much going on. In fact, we're slightly up, which is cool, but I think also there's not too much volume, so nothing too big to celebrate. Probably the biggest thing we can celebrate is that we didn't go to zero. Another week we didn't go to zero. But our beloved Atom is actually now ranked 24th, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. Still below $9, which is extremely low in my opinion. And if we zoom out over the past 2 weeks, we came down here after this SEC crash and Gary Gensler, but up slightly compared to last week. But in fact, Atom lost one rank because of True USD. So TUSD, they minted or printed, or I don't know, $1 billion in market cap this week, 2 days ago. So that's why they went from a 2 billion market cap to a 3 billion market cap. Now, there also was this week, obviously, some FUD about Tether USDT, which, to be honest, this can't miss in any bear market. Like, there always has to be Tether FUD. And I've been around for a couple of years now. In fact, I also did a lot of research about Tether a couple of years ago. And to be very honest, I always found them extremely shady. Like, I always found them to be very intransparent. They obviously have very close ties to Bitfinex. They never really shared any like proof of reserves or those kind of things. They had weird auditors, right, in some offshore islands. But I believe, that's my personal opinion, and obviously tomorrow this thing can go to zero. But my personal opinion is that now Tether in fact is legit. But you also have to understand, they started like 8, 9, 10 years ago even. So back then when they started, there were no rules, there was no framework, there was no crypto, there was no Web3, there was no institutional adoption, there was none of that, right? It was literally, crypto was a greenfield when they started. Now it's becoming relevant, and I think now Tether's also going to be more transparent moving forward. But to be honest, I'm not worried at all about Tether. Of course, this is crypto. You always have to be aware that the risk is everything goes to zero tomorrow like this. Like, remember Terra or Celsius, right? Like, that's always the risk. And Tether is a centralized company. Same for USDC. Circle is also a centralized company. I think Circle is doing a much better job in terms of transparency and auditing. So that's why I think USDC is in a better position. But Tether is 3 times bigger almost, right? Like 83 billion market cap versus 28. So Tether is king, and I think in a bear market you always see stablecoins moving up the rankings. Now let's look into some of the movers this week, especially in Cosmos. We're seeing that, in fact, on a weekly basis, Atom only went up 6%. It still has a nice 19% APY, by the way, but this is going down towards 7% right now because we are above the 2/3 threshold for staking. So we're at actually 70%. We were at 64, 65% not too long ago. Now we're above 70%, which means the APY is going down by the day, right? And I think people have to understand that the 20% APR times on Atom are over. Like, they're not coming back anytime soon. Now, Territory has had a 74% increase. I missed out on that. I mean, I have some Tory from the airdrop, but I never really bought it, or I never really looked deeply into it. But it's also a brand new chain, and I don't know too much about them, to be honest. Akash, we've been talking about this a long time now. Akash, AKT, blue chip Cosmos project, up 27% despite of the market volatility. 65 cents right now. Quicksilver, liquid staking protocol, and also Stargaze. Stars is up 16.5%. So that's nice. Osmo at 50 cents, which, to be honest, is absolutely nuts in my opinion. That's so cheap. Let's look into some of the things in Cosmos specifically that have been coming up this week. And the biggest, most highly anticipated news is obviously the proposal now that is on chain for Stride, which is $100 million existing layer 1 blockchain on Cosmos that is optimized for liquid staking. So Stride is market leader in liquid staking. They have around $30 million worth of liquid staked assets on their chain. I think already like 7 or 8 tokens like Atom, Osmo, Juno, evmos, Injective, that you can liquid stake through Stride. And they are now proposing, after pre-discussions, pre-proposals on both chains, the Stride and the Cosmos Hub chain, that now things are getting real. And what is getting real is that 2 things. Number 1, Stride will become a Atom zone or a Cosmos Hub consumer chain. 34% have already voted. 99.96 are in favor, which means this thing is pretty much going through. And what that means is that Stride would become a consumer chain on July 19th, which is literally a month from now. And the second thing about Stride, which I also wanted to mention here, is that they also proposed 450,000 Atom, or requested 450,000 Atom to bootstrap liquidity on Astroport with ST Atom, which is their liquid staked Atom that you can get through Stride. So if this proposal passes, this will obviously bootstrap liquidity massively, and it'll also help to further strengthen the peg between ST Atom and Atom. So right now, the Cosmos Hub is in this transition from just becoming this boring old Cosmos chain to actually becoming a cutting-edge shared security leader, but also with the upcoming liquid staking module that just passed on the Cosmos Hub governance. We're going to see that later in the year. Plus revised tokenomics for Atom, which there is something big brewing. Like, I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Maybe we can do a separate episode on that. But Cosmos Hub or Atom tokenomics are going to be revised and eventually being proposed and published at Cosmoverse this year. So stay tuned for that. That's why I don't really think right now is a good time to unstake and sell Atom. I'm going to leave you with that. But that's my personal opinions. And also, finally, I think this is also really cool, which is an initiative on the Neutron chain right now, a proposal to launch the AEZ accelerator, the Atom Economic Zone accelerator, with the Atom Accelerator DAO and Longhash, which is an accelerator that has helped a lot of projects come to life and go to market. So they want to allocate $500,000. And to be honest, I think we need much, much more of this. I love this. And I think also Longhash is an established player in crypto. I know them also for a long time. But yeah, I haven't talked to them about this, but I think it's definitely a cool thing. This is something that's been generally an issue in Cosmos, is that the biggest downside for this whole model of like app chains, every chain is sovereign. We have different teams. There's no core organization that runs the show, that runs everything. The biggest downside of that is exactly what I just mentioned, is that people that want to build on Cosmos, they want to join Cosmos, even content creators, they don't know who to talk to, right? That's why I think we need more of these sub-DAOs. We need more initiatives from the community. We need more physical events. We need more hackathons. We need more something like the Solana Super Team. I don't know if you guys know them, but the Solana Super Team is actually killing it. And I think they're right now doing a tour in the UK. But this is a community of operated devs and grantees working on promising Solana projects. Like, this is a whole team that is touring around now in the UK and going to universities, organizing hackathons, onboarding developers, teaching, educating people that want to get, and really catering it to them in their own environment. I think something like that we urgently need. By the way, Tamar is doing an absolutely amazing job. I've known her for a long, long time, actually since 2018, because we studied at the same university in Shanghai. But Tamar is just, we need 10 Tamars in Cosmos, to be very honest. Like, Tamar is really, really killing it, what she's doing for Solana, Bangalore, like, look at these amount of people. Like, you really need to pick them up. And I think that's exactly what we need in Cosmos. We need more of that. Actually, we need to get started with that. So we're trying our best with Cosmoverse and also like sub brands of Cosmoverse, like our Atom XYZ campaign where we have events around the world. Actually, we're about to announce a Southeast Asia tour. So if you're in Southeast Asia, Singapore, Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, please let me know in the comments. Also send me a DM on Twitter. But yeah, we need a lot more of this. And now, final thing I want to share with you before I wrap this video up is that I feel like we are kind of right now in this Cosmos 2.0 restructuring, where a lot of the projects, especially when it comes to like token value accrual models and emission schedules, like we see a lot of adjustments, right? So I think here on Osmo, there's interesting proposals. To be honest, I haven't read through all of them because there's so much to go through, especially on all these different chains and all different things. But go on mintscan.io/osmosis/proposals and read through some of these things. I mean, it looks like many of these proposals are actually going through, but here about supercharged incentive models, reset the community pool allocation, implement halving, new emission rates, reduce superfluid discount rate, lengthen the third-inning schedule. Like there is a lot of things that would refine and optimize the Osmo tokenomics. We have seen the same here for Stargaze and the Stars tokenomics, which already has passed, right? So, because right now also the thing with these chains, especially Stars and Osmo, is that they're net negative in terms of staking rewards versus inflation, right? So if you stake, you get outpaced by the inflation. And I think that there are like initiatives in play to fix that. And to be honest, if you look at the Stars price, 1.4 cents, if you look at the Osmo price, 50 cents, hovering around all-time lows with all these things in play, gives me a little bit Proposal 8 vibes on Stride, where you get paid to read. But I don't know. It can also go to zero again, right? Like crypto is wild, wild west. Oh, and the one final thing, then I really let you go, is a major news that actually broke, which is that Uniswap announced that Axelar is approved to support the next phase of its cross-chain development. And I think, honestly, interoperability is going to be a big theme next bull run. And seamless, real, trust mitigated, trust minimized interoperability is so much needed. So Uniswap came up with a plan and also like how they want to operate moving forward and what's their focus. There's also good interviews. I think Hayden did one on Bankless recently. I haven't watched it, just a few minutes. But yeah, this is something to watch out for. Obviously, Uniswap has the highest volume by far on any DEX. And yeah, they're looking to embed more and more interoperability, and Axelar seems to be the solution for them. And yeah, let me know what other projects you want me to cover in the future. That's it for me today. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe, be good, and have a great Sunday.